Motocross has all these real moments of beauty in between all the sound and the fury. Talk to me about those subtle little elements of skill and grace that someone with your position in the sport can really appreciate.
I think motocross is the most complete sport because you get the best mix of technicality, physical shape, and if you have the right mindset, the right bike, the right team, and you can go walk through that wall, just say, hey, I'm hammering down. And then to make that work over a period of 6-7 months, that's crazy.
Once I put the helmet on, it's changed everything because I get into like racing mood, and also when I'm on track I feel kind of the adrenaline, and I'm always giving my best and sometimes just going close to the limit.
Even when you've seen 1,000 races, you can still appreciate a new one because of the way that the rider is changing or he's adapting to the conditions that he faces both on the track and around him.
Hello everybody and welcome to Germany, round 11 of the FIM Motocross World Championship. We are at the Talkessel circuit, Teuschental. The racetrack's still hard pack and slick though, just under 1,600 meters long.
When you don't water this track in Germany, it's going to be like a floor, like it's going to be concrete kind of thing. But when they rip it with a machine, then put a lot of water, you get kind of clay, and then if it stays dry with the sun baking on the track, then you get rods. You know, the deeper they kind of rip the track, and then the more water they put, then the more lines you kind of gonna get. So different kind of rods in the same turns, you get more options to pass.
The dirt here in Teuschental, it's hard. It's a hard track, but the way they rip the track and they treat the dirt makes a track with a lot of ruts. Especially second motos will be hard because the ruts will get a little bit harder, and then you still have those deep ruts, but you need to try to keep that flow, and that will be very difficult.
The rider is still such an essential component of the overall racing package, if you like, in MXGP, not only in terms of fitness, but also like racecraft, like technique. Riders in this sport like to improvise. They like to find solutions, new lines and possibilities to make ground, make time.
30 minutes plus 2 laps, MXGP Race 1 about to get underway here. It is going to be a very closely fought contest here in Teuschental. We charge downhill into the first turn. Prado, quickest out of the blocks. Left and right, right to left. Prado will get his elbows out, try and keep the Dutchman at bay, but he can't do that. Herlings leads on the first lap.
How can you be consistent when the track is changing? It's very hard because, you know, in some places of the track you're losing time, and if you try to keep those lap times the same, you know you need to gain in other parts. If one rad gets broken, the guy behind maybe can get into another line because he saw it's broken, and it's very hard, especially when you have someone behind you and you are leading for so many laps and you just see your own line. So you need to be very smart and have your eyes open the whole time.
Jorge Prado with just one thing on his mind, making the most of those mistakes. He's got the Dutchman on the outside and he's going to control the inside here, and he takes back the lead on lap 3. And Prado feeling the heat right now from behind. Can he hang on? Oh, and he's down the inside, and just like that, Herlings takes over the lead. But, ugly, untidy actually that was from Prado. Somehow he managed to keep it on 2 wheels. And it's going to be a run to the line. And there is absolutely nothing in there. Oh! It ends in tears. Bikes and bodies in the track. What a dramatic end to race 1.
You guys, at that point, were both in the title hunt. Does that maybe play into the intensity of the moment?
No. You know about the incident? I already won the race and he was second. He had no option to beat me. It's just a race incident. I took a different line coming into the ramp. The line took me a little bit to the right. Just on the last moment, I heard his bike. Then I look and I realized he was there, and then, yeah, once we took off, I knew we were going to crash because obviously in the air I couldn't do anything. It was just a race incident. I'm not going to take anybody out when I already won the race.
MXGP Race 2. What kind of fireworks are we going to get this time around, I wonder? Gajser going after Romain Febvre. He knows a win will get him back in the championship lead. To the top blocks there, he leans on Febvre. He's not going to go through there though, and he runs him off the side of the track. Gloves are off between these two. This is where he made the move in race 1. And Gajser leads for the first time. Tim Gajser will win race 2. He will win the German Grand Prix. But Tim Gajser pushing on, bouncing back, overcoming adversity.
Yeah, I'm super happy. I mean, like, I don't know what to say. Just like 3 weeks ago, it happens, you know, like I broke my collarbone, and now, you know, like 2 races back, 3 weeks back, we are back on the top.
Of course, you know, you have kind of like mixed emotions. I surprised a bit myself. I know that I could fight for podium, but then when it happens, definitely was not easy, you know, when I'm thinking now back. But I'm that kind of person that when I put something in my head, I want to do that. You can think about the championship, about the red plate, but it doesn't really help you a lot. In the past, even I don't have this kind of experience because all the championships that I won was like, you know, in the end I was starting to build a big gap, and then towards the end it was kind of like just bringing it home.
There have been these moments where you think that the championship is very close to diverting to one rider or, you know, splitting off in one way, but these guys seem to come through these little incidents. The added bonus of the championship pressure adding up, and the riders knowing that the slightest mistake could also be a big hit in the standings and therefore put them more at a disadvantage, then of course that kind of extra backdrop. And, you know, each rider seems to have had their own little hiccups.
So much things been going on. I was like, if I didn't have that happen to me in my shoulder, I would have probably been leading around 100 points. But if Gajser wouldn't have crashed, he would be still on the red plate. And if this, if that, so it's like so totally unexpected. Things just like gone in a way like nobody could really think it would go. It's for the championship, it's nice, but as a rider, yeah, definitely need to be good with your nerves.
There was championships who went down to the line, but mostly between 2 guys, not 3. It weighs on everybody. It weighs on the riders, weighs on the teams, the mechanics. The tension rises.
And you can really sense the atmosphere again starting to build ahead of MXGP Race 2. Jeffrey Herlings leads now by 17 over Romain Febvre. Gajser 5 further back.
You know, we're talking about the most physically demanding sport in the world. Some riders don't mind pain. It's that psychological barrier you have to overcome. That's the psychology of those kind of riders, that when they break it, they mend it, they go again.
And who is it going to be that grabs that all-important hole shot here? Gajser banging bars, and he gets pushed back, and so too does Herlings.
Herlings and Gajser 12 and 13. That's why you typically don't start next to the championship contenders, because both of you can ruin each other. This is the perfect opportunity for Romain Febvre. If he wanted a chance back into this championship, the time is now.
I knew when that happened, I had to go dig deep and had to try to get every single point if I still wanted to keep this championship alive. Just know I had to dig deep, put my head down, and keep fighting till the last meter.
I've repeated myself many, many times. Jeffrey has just beaten himself. If Jeffrey Herlings showed up at all races, somewhere between 70% of his abilities and 110, no one can beat him. And once he flips that switch very quickly, he gets better and better and better.
My time, my grind, my shine, my life, gotta get mine, never look behind.
How good a lap has this been from the number 84? These guys are absolutely on the limit.
Pedal to the medal, get my medals, a new day, a new level, I couldn't settle.
He's first got to find his way past Koldenhoff and a nervous-looking Roman Febvre who keeps looking over his shoulder.
So that's where I just passed the Gajser, and I think it's the same lap where we're gonna go for the attack on Febvre. It's a four-way battle, we're all four within a second. And at that point, the championship was all wide open for all three of us. Things was about to get real. And there I went for the jugular on Febvre, and he knew I was there. And then I straight knew he was gonna come with more speed up that hill, so I defended the inside. But at least I made the pass stick, and then I could work my way up to Glenn, who was leading at that time the moto.
Feeling good, feeling great, I just put another win on my plate.
Koldenhoff continues to lead. Herlings now about a second apart.
Feeling good, feeling great, I just put another win on my plate.
He tries, but all of a sudden, lap 18, Herlings is your new leader. We are entering the final lap in a few corners' time. Jeffrey Herlings goes 1-1, puts distance between himself, Febvre here, and Gajser. Number 185 in the books now for Jeffrey Herlings. What a Grand Prix.
What is it with Jeffrey? The mistakes that he's made almost fires him up. He knows there's only one person to blame, and that's him. He has to go out and rectify that. There aren't many people just go, you know what, we're not just gonna dig deep. We're gonna go super deep and come out the other end, and if I get 25 points as a reward for it, then, you know, then so be it. Where he gets that from? No idea. Some of it's physical, a lot of it is that mental toughness. When he is put to the test, I think he draws on that. The guy's a 9-time world champion, you know, he's a legend.
When you take him from the last 15 years, he was good at stars, he was good endurance, he was consistent, he had the best package from the riders in MXGP.
There would always be a kind of like a 10-minute zone at the end of the race that was Tony time.